Hello, magnificent beings. Welcome, everyone. I am Eva Gregory, founder of the Successful Spiritual Entrepreneur Group, founder of the Enlightened Business Success Academy, where we help established coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs attract high-end clients and premium offers. I'm excited to be here with you today. I'm thrilled to have you here, whether you are with us live or whether you're catching this on the replay. This could not be a more perfect time for you to be focused on building your business and do it in a way that's going to support you regardless of what else is going on in the world or what others are doing. It's like you've got a huge opportunity right now to really step up and claim your gifts and talents, set yourself up to be attracting the caliber of clients who value what you have to offer and are happy to invest in your premium programs and services. Now, excuse me. In this week's Successful Spiritual Entrepreneur live stream, we're going to talk about how to build a list of loyal followers. This is what we start with. This is the foundation of your entire business. So I'm going to talk about my step-by-step lucrative list building formula for growing your list in a way that is easy, it is fun, it is effective, and you'll be able to reach your divine market, develop the relationship with them, and then turn your loyal followers into raving fans. So just a quick heads up, I am going to be moving fairly quickly because I've got a lot I want to share with you. However, whether you're live here or you're on the replay, if you have questions about anything that I'm talking about, post your questions in the comments below. I will come back. I'll be reading everything after the fact, and I will be responding to those questions, okay? So whether you're live or you are on the replay, it doesn't matter. Post your questions as they come up, and then I'll make sure that I circle back around and I answer those for you. You know, I'm always grateful for those of you who join my trainings that I know, and there are many of you who are new to my community. Welcome. Great to have you here too. And so I'm just thrilled to have all of you here and hope that you get a lot of value out of these trainings because that's always my intention. Now, I know I've got a lot to cover today, so I would just say stay with me over, I'm going to guess it's going to be 60 minutes. And then focus on what I've got to share with you because I want you to walk away really understanding what is working today to build a list of loyal followers in your divine market, and especially those who resonate with you and what you have to offer. And then how do you turn those followers into raving fans that convert into clients, right? And what I know without a shadow of a doubt is that in order for you to have a healthy, sustainable business, you've got to consistently be growing your email list of loyal followers, okay? And that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. I'm also curious to know in the chat, let me know how many of the things I'm about to say sound familiar to you. Firstly, you have a small list, but it's not growing. And once you've made offers to that list for a while, you notice that you're not getting any traction, which means you're not making revenue, because you don't have a fresh audience of folks who are eager to learn from you and ultimately sign up for your services, join your programs, and buy your products. If you're having that experience, let me know in the comments. Secondly, maybe you have had some success in growing your list. Maybe that was what you were like I was. And then you discovered that maybe the strategies that you've used in the past just aren't working today. And so you might even feel left behind because you're not up to speed with what's new. If that's you, let me know in the comments. And I will tell you, I'm going to be sharing right here and now what is working today. And then thirdly, no matter what you do, maybe it feels like you just can't seem to grow your email list, and more specifically, a list of loyal followers. We don't want an email list of just anybody. We want a list of our divine market. We want a list of loyal followers. And if that's not happening, then maybe you're feeling tired, you're feeling jaded, maybe you're even about ready to give up. And if that's you, let me know that in the comments as well. But I want you to hang in here with me because if you can relate to any of these scenarios that I just shared with you, I want you to know that that's about to change for you. So here's what you need to know. Number one, your list is the lifeblood of your business. Got to say that over and over and over sometimes. Your list is the lifeblood of your business. That's why I'm so excited to talk with you today about how to grow your list and to do it on a regular, consistent basis. Number 2, if you've got the desire to do what you do in your business, you have the ability to be successful at it. You just need to know what you don't know, okay? And that starts with laying the foundation for consistently, there's a key word here, consistently growing your list of loyal followers. I had an email list a couple of years and it didn't do me any good, so I gave up. Oh, don't give up. Don't give up. Start again. Every moment's a fresh new beginning. I hope that everything I give you today, you'll be able to run with it and start over. It's not too late. It's never too late. All right. And that's number 3, actually. Every moment is a new beginning. Okay. So regardless of what it's been like for you up to now, you can begin again right here, right now, and focus on your success anew, starting with a simple, effective list building strategy for building a loyal following that works. All right. Number 4, building a list of loyal followers is not rocket science. You just need to know what you don't know and then put it into action. But the thing you need to know is this: if you are in business, you must start building a list of loyal followers. And not only start building a list of loyal followers, you need to consistently be growing that list. And my intention here is to keep things simple and easy. And you do this one step at a time. I'm a huge proponent of taking one thing at a time. I got a whole chapter in my book, Life Lessons for Mastering the Law of Attraction, called Baby Steps Lead to Avalanches, because it does. And that's what I want to teach you. So I don't want you getting into overwhelm and then you do nothing. Or you don't know what to do and then things aren't working. And so what do? It's just, it's just like you were saying, I don't see it just says Facebook user. So I'll have to go back and look in the, I'm looking here because that's where the comments are to see who this is. But yeah, get started again. Really, seriously. I know when I started out, I was just plodding along in my coaching business, and I went to see my CPA that year, and he looked at my number and he says, Eva, you don't have a business. What you've got is an expensive hobby. You need to get a job. Are you freaking kidding me? I can't tell you how upset I was. I mean, that cut me to my core. I was devastated. I knew there was no way I was going to go back to getting a job and working for somebody else. And that also was a wake-up call for me, right? And I knew I had to get my rearing gear and get serious about my business. Oh, Patricia, awesome. Good to see you here. Awesome, awesome. It's got to be late for you. Oh, my goodness. I just remember my coach at the time. He said, yeah, Eva, and he was my very first coach. God bless him. He had so much wisdom to share with me. And one of them was that you need to make growing your list a top priority in your business. You must make it a top priority. And I kept thinking, okay, sure. I don't know how that's going to work or why that would work. Well, let me tell you, especially after my CPA told me I needed to go get a job, and think of it, desperate times means taking desperate measures. And when you're desperate enough and you feel like you've got your back against the wall, I was not going to go take a job. I was not going to do that if it killed me first, right? Well, then you're open to new possibility and no matter what it takes. And I'll tell you right now, I am so, so, so happy and grateful that I actually listened to him. And I started growing my list was my top priority in my business every single day, every day. And of course, thank goodness, because not long after that was when Robin, my other half, he had gone to work that morning. And then the next thing I know, he's back. And I thought, what are you doing home? And without going into all the details, he had a very lucrative 3-year contract job that he was working on, and they decided they were going to kill the project. And so there he was out of work just like that. No notice, no severance pay, no nothing, no health benefits. I mean, everything went away that day. And I know that, my emotions were all over the board. I went from panic and I went to fear and I went to anger. And I then finally resolved, and I thought, well, I've got to do something to now not only bring in what I had been bringing in at that time with a very few one-on-one clients, that was the only work I was doing back then, to also match the income that he had been bringing in, which was a lot more than what I was making at the time. Because I had told him I didn't care if he never worked again because I knew he wasn't happy with his job. Well, be careful what you ask for, people. That's all I got to say. But man, I'm telling you, just like that, it happened. And I thought, okay, my list is my priority. And then I decided I'm going to reach out to my list. It was one I had been steadily nurturing over time for a short while at this point. And I just reached out with an email and I offered my first ever group coaching program. I'd only had one-on-one clients up to this point. And that list, just sending out that email to my list, explaining what I was doing, what the program was about, how it would benefit them, 20 people signed up for my very first group program. And they signed up at about $1,000. That was like $997. Anyway, it was around $1,000 each. And that was easy. And so then the next month, I put another email out, the same email inviting for a whole new group. And another group of about 20 people signed up. And so I was like, I think I like this. And so every month I would open up a new group. And then I got to a point where I was doing it every other month. But I did it until I had like 10 to 12 of these group programs going. And I'll tell you right now, that would never have happened had I not been building my list and making that list a top priority. It never would have happened. And because of that decision, I brought in well over $200,000 that year. And man, my business completely changed. And, you know, I tell it like it is. That's one of the things I like to do. So I'm just going to tell you that it sounds like, oh, piece of cake. She sent out an email and all these things happened. I was doing the work. All right. I was committed to change. I was not going to go get a job. And I was committed to doing what it took to grow my email list week in and week out without fail. So it wasn't some magic pill, all right? I'd love to be able to give you a magic pill, but I did the work that was necessary to do that in place. Now, was it hard work? No, but it was consistent and I had to be committed to it, okay? And, you know, I had spent thousands of dollars on trainings and programs and events to grow my business and all good stuff. Nobody talked about building the list. Thank God for my first coach, because I know now that that is the absolute first thing you should be thinking about when you are getting into business or starting your business. Or maybe you've been in business for a while and it's just kind of been sitting there. This is the foundation right here. And right there in that moment of crisis, I thought, okay, let's make an offer to my list. And for the first time in my business, I got off of that revenue roller coaster. You know what I'm talking about, right? And I started attracting clients month in and month out. And I cannot tell you how liberating that is. And if you haven't experienced that in your own business yet, wait till you do. There is nothing like this sense of freedom that comes when you know you have a list of followers who resonate with you, they want what you have to offer, and many of them will convert into happy paying clients. Now, I will tell you, because a lot of times people ask me this, how big had my list grown at this point? I had grown my list to about 4,000, maybe 4,500 people. And that can sound like a lot if you're just getting started, but I'm going to tell you right now, is you can create a really good income even if you don't have a list of 4,500. But you do need a list that's responsive, okay? That is the key. It is quality over quantity. Quantity is great once you get the quality, but who cares? If you've got whoever you've got on your list, we start with that, and then you start making that priority is growing and nurturing that list, okay? I will tell you, I had a list, and I got people into a Facebook group, and this is some of the things that we teach, and I'll talk a little bit about that a little later. In a group of, I think there were 20 people, 28 people in that Facebook group. So that was my quote list, right? And I brought in over $100,000 just with that. Okay. Now, it was a high ticket program, but all I'm telling you is don't let your gremlins get in the way saying, yeah, but. That's what I call Bertha Butt and the Butt Sisters. Okay. Yeah, but I don't have a list. Yeah, but my program's not high end. It doesn't matter. You start with where you are and you start to grow that list. You have an opportunity here. Oh my God. I hope you guys are getting this. I just see too many coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs who are stressed and struggling because they're doing a lot of stuff in their business, but they don't have a freaking list. Start here. Start here. It doesn't matter where you start. I started with nothing. So we all start in the same place, but then you've got to make this your priority. All right. And then the next thing that happened, okay, is this was going really great. And then all of a sudden, the strategies that I was using to grow my list started to change. The things that had always worked for me in the past weren't working anymore. And I went into once again, I was like, oh my God, what's happening here? And I was scared. The truth was that although the strategies for building a loyal following had changed, the importance of building a loyal following in order to create a successful, sustainable business had not changed. Okay. So think about this. This is one of the things I'm so big about teaching. We can give you tactics, but you got to understand strategies. Okay. The strategies are, things like change, but the importance doesn't. And once you understand that, then you just kind of go with the flow of the time. When I started, there was no Facebook. There was none of this stuff. I didn't have any of this to start with. And so just know that times change and you want to stay on top of them. And at that time, I had taken my eye off the ball, and out of fear at that time, I thought, oh my gosh, this isn't working. What am I going to do? And I started signing up once again for course after course, how to market my business, how to say the right things in the right way to get people to say yes, what colors to use on my web pages, what's the magic phrase to use. That is not what I needed to be focused on. And basically, I was just throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what would stick, right? Well, none of it was working. If you can relate to that, let me know. If you've ever felt like, you're just unfocused, you're just trying one thing on the other just to see what sticks. That was me. I had reverted back from something that I knew. So always understand that the tactics and strategies might change a little bit, but when you understand what is important, and the list building is always important no matter what, then you always will stay on top of it. You can stay on top of it. All right. And so your skills and your knowledge of your products and services have nothing to do with your success. That's a part of it. But you can have the best programs and the best products and the best services in the world. And if you don't have a list of loyal followers who know about you and know about your offers, you don't have a business. You don't. And I know that a lot of times I hear people say, I feel like I'm just the best kept secret. Well, guess what? You can't afford to be a best kept secret, right? If you feel like one of those best kept secrets, let me know in the comments. But the good news is you're here now, and every moment is an opportunity for a new beginning, and this could be that moment for you. But you just need to refocus and start making growing your list a top priority. As soon as I refocused on what's important, growing my list, I made that my top priority. The strategies changed, but I went back and focused on that. And I stopped going around in circles trying to make the other strategies, the other things that weren't working work. That was crazy. And I started using the strategies that are working today. And that was when things, or at that time, that was when things turned around. And ever since then, I am always on top of what's working today. What's working today. Things stop working today in the Enlightened Business Success Academy, I take them out. I yank those trainings out and we put in new training. So we're always on top of what's working today. So you got to let go of what hasn't been working and stop trying to force it to work if it's not working, and start focusing on what's working now, working now, right? And I'm going to share some of that with you here now. All right. So making your list your top priority. You all got that now, right? Their list is the lifeblood of your business. And when you make that your top priority, this is what you're saying to the universe and to the world. You're saying you're serious about reaching those who are looking for what you have to offer. You're saying, I'm not going anywhere. You're saying you're serious about creating a highly successful business that's here to stay. Okay. And you recognize the importance of creating relationship with these amazing beings in your divine market that you're here to serve and are here to benefit from what you have to offer. And as you attract loyal followers in your divine market, and as you build relationship with them, this is where you're creating that know, like, and trust factor. And they start looking forward to hearing more of what you have to say. So when you make offers to them, they're already leaning in to say yes, okay? Which means growing your business becomes a lot easier, right? So if growing your business has you feeling overworked and overwhelmed or stressed and struggling to get clients because you haven't been clear on what your top priority is or how to build a list of loyal followers, you're going to see, as you start to do this, you're going to see how much easier and how much more fun it is to build a successful, enlightened business. So if you're not seeing if you're not seeing a regular income in your business right now, this is your top priority, okay? For creating that business. It is not creating your website. It's not choosing your niche. All these things are useful. It's not prioritizing your offers. All of these are elements of a successful business for sure. But your top priority has to be growing a quality list of loyal followers in your divine market, okay? So if you want to convert loyal followers into raving fans who become happy paying clients, you got to find a good way to communicate with them. And when you have a reliable communication channel, then you can start to build a relationship with them. That's where you build the know, like, and trust factor, okay? And that becomes the basis of a lot of repeat business. But it's really hard to do unless you can communicate with them regularly. So I'll say it again. You got to make growing a list of loyal followers your top priority. Now, I hope I've hammered that enough. I hope you're getting it now and that you've made the decision to make building a list of loyal followers your number one focus in your business. So let's jump into some ways you can do that right now. First of all, there are 3 stages to building a list of loyal followers who become raving fans. There's actually a 4th stage, which I also teach in the Enlightened Business Success Academy in the Big List Launchpad training. And it will walk you through what you do once you've built a list of loyal followers. But if you don't have these first 3 stages in play, nothing else you do is going to matter. All right. So your first priority has to be building your list. So I'm going to share the first 3 stages briefly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into some strategies that are working today in each of those stages that you can start to apply in your business. Okay. So guys, you might want to take some notes here or come back or replay it where you can stop it. If you're not on the replay, if you're here on live, you might want to come back. But I highly recommend you take some notes. All right. Stage 1 of building a list of loyal followers is attract. Okay. In this stage, this is where you create your compelling lead magnet for those in your divine market. And what are you doing? You're providing a lead magnet in exchange for their name and email address, right? During this stage, this is where you determine the best place to position your lead magnet, where those in your divine market will see it and sign up for it. Stage 2 in building a list of loyal followers is engage. This is where you build the relationship with your followers. This is where you're creating compelling content that you're going to be sending them on a regular basis, usually weekly, that turns them into raving fans. And then stage 3 is expand. And this is where you expand your reach. In this case, today we're going to talk about one, and that's through social media strategies, so that you attract even more followers in your divine market to your lead magnet and onto your email list. Okay. So by the end of this training today, I want you to be clear on how to choose the right lead magnet for your divine market? How do you start connecting with your divine market with that very first email that they receive once they've opted into your lead magnet? And then how do you create an email nurture campaign that turns your loyal followers into raving fans? And then know how to expand your reach to develop the relationship on social media that's fast, it's easy for you to do, and that will shorten, by the way, the time frame between a loyal follower becoming a raving fan and eventually many of them becoming ideal clients. Okay, so stage one, let's start with stage one, attract. Stage one is attract by creating a compelling lead magnet that you're going to put strategically on your website, would be the first place you'd put it. Okay, this needs to be aligned with your divine market's biggest issue or challenge that you help people with. Okay, so be thinking about what is that biggest issue or challenge that they most would like help with. And that's what you want to think about creating your lead magnet around. Okay, lead magnet needs to do three things. It is demonstrating your value. So it's going to show how valuable what you do is, how valuable your products and services are. This is where we're building that trust. Okay. The second thing it needs to do is position you as an authority. So when someone uses your lead magnet, they start to see you as someone who knows what they're doing, and they see you as someone who can possibly help them because they already are resonating with what they've gotten from your lead magnet. And then the next thing is you're wanting to build a high quality email list. We talked about that, quality over quantity. And if your lead magnet is laser focused only on your target audience, you will build a list full of people who are your divine market, who is quality, who want what you have to offer, who need what you have to offer, instead of people who just want free things. We don't want to build a list of numbers. We want a list of quality. Okay. Now, there are 7 characteristics of compelling lead magnets that convert really well. So these are the things to be thinking about as you're designing your lead magnet. 1, it solves a real problem. Okay, so this needs to address a real problem that your divine market faces. Okay, so people that are starting out in business, a real problem would be building a list, right? That would be a real problem. For some of you, it may not be about business. There might be the issue that they are lacking confidence, and so they're not getting out there in the ways that they could. And so if you help people to develop their confidence, then that's what you want your lead magnet to be focused on. People are feeling empty inside. They know there's got to be something more. Maybe you teach them how to connect with their higher selves. Maybe you teach them how to meditate if they're stressing out in their business and their life. So look at what it is that you do and what that lead magnet can address. What is the problem that you can help them address? That's number 1. Number 2, it's got to be a quick win, okay? It's got to be a quick win. So you're not having to solve all their problems. They're going to come to you for that when they hire you. But we want to start with the one thing and give them just one something that can be a quick win, all right? So your lead magnet needs to hold the promise of delivering one thing quickly. Got it? And it needs to be highly specific. That's number 3. The more specific, the better. So an example of that would be, instead of saying how to improve your social media presence, your lead magnet might be how to get 15,000 new followers on Facebook in the next 3 months. That's pretty specific. Or even 2,000 followers, right? But you get, it's the specificity. The more specific you can get, the better. The 4th thing is it needs to be easy to consume, okay? I know a lot of people put out books and ebooks and lengthy reports. And the problem with that is you're asking people to invest a lot of their time, a lot of their upfront time investment. You're asking a lot of somebody who's just joining you and getting to know you, okay? So I recommend going for things like checklists, swipe files, cheat sheets, audios like meditation, processes that they can apply. So things like that, something that's fast, not ebooks, not lengthy reports. Oh my gosh, I made those mistakes a long time ago. And most people are not getting through it. And so therefore they're not experiencing the quick win. And that's what you really want to get them to. Okay. And it has to have a high value. Not only does it need to be high value, it has to also be perceived as high value. High value does not mean lengthy. High value means it's giving them something solid that they can use and that works for them. Okay. And of course, along with that, giving them something immediate, it needs to, the quick win is the same as this, offer them immediate gratification. All right. In this age, we're wanting everything now. Okay. I need everything yesterday. Your lead magnet needs to be something they can get immediate access to. So a webinar or a masterclass is probably not the best lead magnet, because now they're having to wait to sign up to appear the time you're going to do the webinar. I know a lot of people are doing evergreen webinars where they can sign up and do it now, but it's still a chunk of their time. So lead with the quick gratification lead magnet, and from there, take them to the webinar. From there, take them to the lengthier report. Got it? So the lead magnet needs to be quick, efficient, instant gratification, immediate access, and give them that win right there. Okay. And of course, it also needs to demonstrate your expertise. So when your subscriber uses your lead magnet, you want them leaving feeling that you're an authority on this topic. Okay. You're an authority on the topic. All right. So here's some examples of good, what I call concise lead magnets. A short report. Don't give them a lengthy report. Sometimes what you have to say, there's lots of really valuable information. Don't put any fluff in it. Cut to the core. Give them what they need. A resource list, a checklist, a blueprint, a template, a step-by-step guide, an assessment or a quiz. Oh my gosh, those are really popular. An audio or a video these days, short videos or audios work really, really well. And the thing you want to always remember when you're coming up with your lead magnet, it needs to lead seamlessly to your offer. So you do want to be clear on what your offer is, okay? And then the lead magnet attracts those potential clients who want or need the solution that you have, and it's addressing one area, one of the issues that you can help people with, right? But it's a natural segue to leading them to your paid offer. Okay. Next thing you want to think about, what are the beliefs that your divine market must hold in order to be attracted to your lead magnet and ultimately your paid offers, really? This is what determines what your lead magnet should be, okay? So one of the first things that I teach my folks is get clear on who your divine client avatar is and what are the beliefs they have to hold in order to be attracted to your lead magnet, so that they're already leaning into your offer by the time they hear it, okay? So as you're putting together your lead magnet, your lead, give them a sample as an example. So when people see your lead magnet, you want them to feel glad that they got it, and they need a good idea of what they can expect from you in the future from any products or services you offer. Okay, so you want to deliver a value that's really high, the value that's going to wow them. It's going to have them more than satisfied when they actually look at that. You want them to feel like, oh my gosh, if you give this kind of value on your lead magnet, I can't even imagine what I would get if I signed up for your program. That's kind of the mentality that you want. The other thing, your lead magnet, you're building relationship. Okay, this is the start of a relationship with folks. Okay, your lead magnet is going to trigger the startup of your follow-up email series, and that has got to be directly relevant to the lead magnet and start to build the relationship with them. Okay, so the perfect lead magnet is designed at the same time, or as you're thinking about what would be in those follow-up emails. Okay, the two kind of work together. And the other thing you want the lead magnet to do is you really want to weed out the freebie seekers. We're not interested in freebie seekers. And that's why you want to create a lead magnet that's laser focused on your divine market and their needs and desires. And when you do that, if somebody's not interested in that, they're automatically, you're going to weed them out. Okay. I know that when I'm working with clients, sometimes they say, oh, but if I do this, then it can help these people and these people. I said, are they your divine market? No, but they could help them. We can all help a lot of people. And this is one of the things I teach in the Enlightened Business Success Academy. What you want to do, think of it like a target, right? Who's your divine market? That's the bullseye. Okay. That is the bullseye of who you're focused on and who you can help. That's who you create the lead magnet for. That is the messaging that you put. And guess what happens when you do that? You position yourself very clearly as the authority instead of somebody who's kind of wishy-washy and does a lot of things. But you will also attract those other people that are outside the bullseye. Got it? So if you're worried about, I started out coaching women for success. Guess who I started coaching? Men wanted to work with me. Do you think I said no? I just said that would be absolutely perfect. And then, of course, over time, I've changed my business. But weed out the freebie seekers. That's really what we want to do, and get very clear on your message. By the way, if you would like a copy of the 10 best practices for creating a lead magnet and the 10 lead magnet mistakes to avoid, put best practices in the comments. Even if you're on the replay, I'll come back and catch them, okay? Just put best practices, and then I will circle back around later and get your hands on those if you'd like those. Because, knowing the best practices and knowing what to knowing what to avoid is very, very important, especially for creating effective lead magnets that are attracting your loyal followers, okay? If you have different products and programs and services, eventually, not at first, but eventually you're going to want to create a specific lead magnet for those offers. But right now, what we're looking at is what is your primary lead magnet, okay, that's going to lead to your primary offer. And if you don't have a program, you say, but I just do one-on-one work, that's your offer, okay? You know what it is that you help people with, so that is your offer. Another way to think of this is, what does your divine client avatar most need or want that you have the solution or answer to? Okay. If you don't even have an offer yet, think about what the challenges or issues are that your divine market has that you could provide the solution for. And then you start building your list now, so that by the time you do have an offer, you've already got an audience who's following you and is interested in what you're doing. I've seen so many times, I'm creating my program, or I'm creating my offer, I'm creating my group, and then they're ready to open the door and invite people in, but they haven't built a list and they haven't built a relationship, and there's nobody to buy. So that's why, again, top priority, build the list of loyal followers, okay? Even if you have nothing for them right now, because then when you do, they're going to be right there. Got it? Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of examples of lead magnets, I'll give you a couple of examples of lead magnets just so that you can see how they naturally lead to an offer. I'm going to share my screen here. How do I do that? Share my screen. Share screen. Let's go here. Okay, that's my other screen. Let me see. So you should be seeing 6 key elements for creating a relationship with your divine market. Look at that. It's an infographic. It's simple. It's super simple. It's a checklist of 6 key elements for creating a relationship with your divine market. I turned it into an infographic. So you can see how this lead magnet is a natural lead into a program on building a list of loyal followers by developing the relationship with your divine market. That's the foundational step, right? So these are the key elements for doing that. All right. Another example, let me see here. Template. So you can see checklists, infographics, templates, those are all really good. Let me do here, soul-centered conversation. Okay, that's the opt-in page, but this is in the case of my soul-centered conversations that converts template. I wanted to attract those who've learned already how to grow their list. Now they want to know, how do you convert them into clients? Okay, so I created a high-value template that literally walks them step by step through the entire process, right? But the key here is to meet them where they are and then give them something they can quickly consume and apply right away. Okay. These are a couple of examples of that. If you've got some more questions, or if you want to share something that you've got in the comments, then I can say, yeah, that's great. Or here's how you can make it even more compelling. I'm happy to do that. I'll circle back around after the live stream if you want to do that. But this is how they get the lead magnet, and now you continue to develop the relationship with them. So let me just unshare my screen here. There we go. Awesome. Yeah. And so that by the time you make an offer, they've gotten the lead magnet, you've created the relationship, they're already leaning in to say yes. Okay. So you just want to make sure that your primary lead magnet is easy for them to consume. They're able to use the tips, the tricks, the resources, the insights. They get a quick win out of that. And that experience is what's going to have them want to go further with you, okay? If it takes too much time or it takes too much effort to consume the content or to get a result, they're not going to consume it, and therefore they're not going to get a result. Then you've lost them, okay? So just be thinking about how you can get them to as close to instant gratification as you can, all right? Now, bonus tip here for you. Once somebody opts into your lead magnet, you need to take them to a thank you page. And on that page, you do not give them direct access to the lead magnet, okay? You want to make sure that you're getting a quality email address before you giving someone access to your lead magnet. So what you want to have on the thank you page is you want to say thank you or congratulations, your lead magnet, whatever it is, the name of it is on its way to your inbox, and be sure to safe list or be sure to whitelist in your email address so it doesn't go into spam. That is a big issue today. And you want them to actually receive the emails and receive your follow-up content, okay? So on the thanks page, just let them know the link to the lead magnet's on the way to your inbox, and then just say, be sure to whitelist. In my case, it says, be sure to whitelist or safe list eva@coacheva.com because we don't want you to miss a thing, okay? I have been on the receiving end of so many confirmation emails after I asked for a lead magnet, and I never got them because they were going into spam. Had that thank you page said, hey, whitelist this email address, I'd have known. And then I've gone back and when I cared enough, a lot of times it's like, well, that's too hard, whatever. You don't want that to happen either. But when I've cared enough to go back to the person and say, hey, I signed up, where is it? And they say, oh, whitelist this email address. Then I finally get it in my email. Where do they have, be sure to whitelist this email address? In the email. It's too late, people. It's too late to tell me to confirm it there. I need to confirm it before it gets there so I get it, all right? So that's another reason why you want to make sure on your thanks page you're letting them know what email address to whitelist so that they get your stuff. And I will also tell you that this is probably one of the most effective, powerful times for people when they've signed up for an email. They are looking actively for an email from you, which doesn't happen a lot. Okay. They are looking for that email. They want what they just signed up for. So make it as easy for them as possible so that they actually get it. All right. Okay. So this takes us to stage 2 for building your list of loyal followers. This is where you engage with your new followers. And you do this by providing value. You do it by developing the relationship further, and you do it through an email nurture campaign. Okay. And that begins right away with the confirmation email that they get once they opt in for your lead magnet, okay? This is one of the biggest gold mines. It is one of the most overlooked opportunities to create relationship with your divine market that's going to increase your chances of them wanting to work with you or buy from you down the road, okay? Think about it. You've got new followers. They're attracted to your lead magnet. They've opted in. In essence, they've just told you they want to hear from you, okay? And now they're actively looking for a message from you. And so what you send them at this point has a higher likelihood of being read than probably any other message you ever send them. Got it? This is a prime opportunity to really engage with your new follower and move that relationship forward. Most people are not thinking about this, okay? So this confirmation email that you send with a link to your lead magnet is an opportunity for you to really connect with your subscribers, remind them of the value they received from you, remind them of the value they're about to get from you in future messages and emails. And it's all about them, okay? Just one of the things I would say, do not do, they just met you. They just signed up for your lead magnet. They don't know you well yet. Do not make a pitch in your confirmation email. Do not make an offer that's promotional in your welcome message. You can do that in the nurture sequence a little way down the road. Don't do that. It's very off-putting, okay? And the tone of that welcome message, you want it to be just as friendly as possible. And it also sets the tone for future emails that they'll be getting from you. So be yourself. Be yourself. I mean, don't go into clinical, clean speak, avoid corporate speak, that dry. Thank you for requesting this lead magnet. Be sure to it's like, yay, you're in. So happy you're here. Here's the link to the link. Now, here's a few things you need to know. That's my style. Whatever your style is, that's what you want to do, okay? But you set that tone. Be yourself. And by the way, your English teacher's not watching and they won't be grading you anyway. You do not need to have complete sentences. I sure don't. I write the way I talk in my emails. And that's what I am encouraging you to do too, okay? The general idea is you start out developing the relationship with purely value content, informational content, and then gradually you introduce the promotional messages inside your campaign, okay? And you don't have to wait long. It can be the third or fourth, email that goes out, but you've got to create that relationship first, okay? And when you create that personal connection with them in this way, it's going to have you stand out among almost all the other confirmation emails that people receive when they sign up for lead magnets. This is going to set you apart. It's going to help them remember you, okay? I know people are subscribing to hundreds of email lists. Most of them will never check or read those lists. Some of them, they're probably unsubscribing because if they're getting it, this is me. I signed up for something. I never heard back from them after that. Got my lead magnet, or they said, here it is. And then finally, when I heard something, I thought, I don't even know who you are. Unsubscribe. They don't create the relationship. We create the relationship immediately in that first email, okay? So this is why this is such a good opportunity. Connect with them when they're eager to hear from you, okay? And get them to engage with you on a personal one-on-one level. This is where you become more real to them versus just some random brand sending them emails that they're not going to ever read, right? You become a person that they're interested in connecting with and following, okay? Hope this is making sense. Then you want to engage your new followers with a relatable, heartfelt nurture campaign. This is how we turn them into raving fans. And a nurture campaign, sometimes called a welcome sequence, it's just made up of a few emails that you'll set up ahead of time. They'll go out automatically on a regular schedule after someone opts in for your lead magnet and joins your email list. Now, when somebody opts in, that triggers the confirmation email. That email begins the process. And then the next set of emails are you're offering valuable content. You're helping them to get to know you better. You are asking them questions to get to know them better. And so this is how we create the relationship. Again, if you don't have an offer yet, this is no reason not to start here, not to start creating that relationship. It's just a fabulous way to develop the relationship and to position you as the go-to person around your topic. So when you are ready to make that offer, they're going to be ready to lean in. All right. So the email nurture campaign, how many emails? It could be 3 or 4. You might do 1 a week, for the first month. It might be longer depending on what your topic is, and it varies. But 4 emails that goes out once a week for a month, that could be all you need, right? So what do you focus on these things? Well, you know what they're interested in. They signed up for a particular lead magnet, which is how you help people. You gave them an instant win. Now, what's more valuable content that you can give them that would be meaningful for them. All right. You could be a lesson. It could be a tip. It could be a technique. It could be a resource. It could be a process. You could include things like a case study or stories. You could give them, sometimes it's just a new insight or a perspective for them to consider. It's not necessarily something that's tangible. It could be that a recent awareness or an aha that you had. What was something that you learned that ties into how you help people? Your story. Oh my gosh, share your story. That's another great way that helps you become more relatable to them, right? So just be thinking about, of those first 4, maybe 6 emails, what are you going to do? You're going to educate, you're going to inspire, are you going to relate? Is it going to be a combination of those things, right? So just be thinking about what those are. It's super simple. This is really not hard, guys. It's not hard when you understand what you're doing and the reasoning behind it. And definitely get curious about your followers, your new subscribers. Ask a question in one of those emails about them that you would want the answer to. What's your biggest challenge around blah, blah, blah? What's the most important thing you might want to understand about them, right? What makes them tick? What do they most want to learn from you? These are great things to ask them. And I do this in my emails. And then what do? I make sure it's something that they're not going to like, oh, she's asking me my life story. That's too hard. Make it something super simple. It's a one-liner they can respond back to, okay? Don't expect them to write an essay. You want them to be able to think about if it was a quick text, even though this is going to be through email. You want it to be that easy and quick, okay? And the thing that you're going to do is when you're asking them about themselves, say, please, let us know. I'll be sure to respond to you personally. I put that, even though my system is automated, if I'm asking them questions that I want to hear from them, I let people know that so they know that I actually read these things when people respond. And then when they do, I make sure I do respond, okay? So you got to make sure you do. Here's another big tip. In each email that you send out to your subscribers, ask them to take one little action step. These are called mini, M-I-N-I, little, call to actions, okay? Mini CTAs or micro conversions. So, that's a perfect example, asking them to respond to a question. Just click reply click reply to respond, and I'll be sure to respond to you personally. It could be just click on, based on everything you said or based on whatever your topic is, click here to read a blog post about how to ABC. We're not selling. Many calls to action is not about selling, all right? It's about giving them an action to take. So now they click to read a blog post. The next email might join our Facebook community link. Another one might be register for a free training. This is where your free webinars, your longer trainings would come in. And once they've gotten the lead magnet, that would be a mini call to action, okay? Now, what we're doing with those little calls to action is you are training your followers to do several things are going on here. One is they're saying yes to actions that you're requesting that are helping develop the trust with you, because what you're asking them to do is providing more value to them when they do it, okay? And when you ask a question, you're getting to learn more about your followers and what they want, and you're creating the relationship when they realize that you actually will respond back personally, okay? And so when you're asking them to respond, just make sure that if you ask for them to do if you're saying click to a Facebook group or click to read a blog, you're not having to respond to any of that. The only time I just let people know I'll respond back is if they reply to an email to me personally. If they're going to take the time to do that, you better believe I'm going to respond back, okay? I know a lot of times people are surprised to hear from me. Great way to develop relationship and build that know, like, and trust factor, okay? Because it's fun. For me, 40,000 email list, and I would say, reply back. Most people are not. It's not like you're going to get deluged with all of these responses back. And so, when they do it, then I respond back. Sometimes they say, is this really Eva? It's like, yeah, it's really me. It's really me. Okay. And it's fun. It's actually fun to do. So These are these mini calls to action. These are a critical key element of your nurture campaign. All right. So when you sit down to write your 3 to 4 emails, just think about what's that one small call to action step that you could give them in each email. And then once you've set your nurture campaign up, you throw it up in your email service provider, you set it and forget it. So easy. Now, there's a lot of work when we're laying the foundation, but that's easy. It's just a lot of steps to actually implement. Got it? All right. So I hope you guys are still with me on replay or live. Either way, it's all good in the neighborhood. So, excuse me. Let me get something to drink here. Okay, recap. First 2 stages to build a list of loyal followers. Stage 1, attract. This is where you come up with that compelling lead magnet that's going to be based on how you help people. Remember, it's got to be something they can consume quickly. They can apply right away to get a result. Step 2 is engage. This is where you engage your new followers through the email nurture campaign, where you offer valuable content. You're acquainting them with your world. You're positioning yourself as the authority in all of this. You're helping to learn more about them and getting to know them better. So you're creating that know, like, and trust factor as well. That leads us to stage 3. This is expand. All right. Now we're ready to expand your reach to new followers through, in this case, social media. We're only going to focus on one today. And your social media strategy is going to be very different from your email strategy, in that your top priority on social media is to create value and connection first. It's not to get them to sign up for your lead magnet. So it's a little different than trying to get them onto your email list. It all works the same, but it's just a little bit different animal. Okay. So as you're creating value with your posts, if you're doing Facebook Lives or whatever, that kind of thing, for your followers, now you're building the relationship with people not on your list yet. And then you're creating the opportunity for then inviting them to join your list a little bit later, like 1 or 2 posts later. This does not have to be long drawn out. Everything can happen quickly. Okay. It sounds like it's drawn out because of all the words I'm using, but it's not. Okay. One of the most powerful ways to expand your reach, of course, on social media today is through video. It could be like what I'm doing now, Facebook Lives. It could be Reels. I mean, look at TikTok. The great thing about these, they're super effective today. The good news is they can be short and sweet. It doesn't have to be a long training like this one. All right. And so I know a lot of you are feeling a little bit of resistance. I don't like the idea of video. I did too. And in a lot of ways, I still am. So I do know how you feel. I felt that way. What I found is it doesn't have to be some complicated thing. All right. We like to keep things simple. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be polished. Thank goddess. All right. And especially with Facebook Lives and Reels. And these are working extremely well these days. You get to be yourself. How about that? You get to be yourself. You get to connect with your divine market in a way that really has to get them knowing, liking, and trusting you. It totally shortens the connection and the relationship building for sure, especially when you're just being yourself. I mean, that's what we want anyway. We just want you. We want the real you. All right. And if you followed me, you've probably seen some of my Facebook Lives. Sometimes I'll pop up on a Facebook page or in my group just to share something that's on my mind. I'll say, I was having a conversation with a client the other day and this came up. So I just wanted to share this with you guys if I feel like it's something that would be valuable. Okay. Super easy. It doesn't have to be prepared. I remember my first, excuse me. I remember my first Facebook Live. I had no idea what I was doing. And, I just popped on to see if it could actually work. And I went, oh, no makeup, no hair down. I mean, oh, okay. I'm just trying to figure this stuff out. Well, you know what? I had more responses to that and it was no valuable content because people could relate. Now you can't just keep doing that all the time because you think it's going to bring you responses. That's not the point. But the point is people want to relate to who you are. Okay. And so I would just invite you to get over yourselves. If you're not happy about video, dip your little toe in the water. We're all about baby steps. You don't have to jump into the deep end. Just do it one baby step at a time. Maybe it's 5 seconds to say, hi, welcome to my Facebook group or welcome to my profile page. Here's a bonus tip for you, by the way, especially if you're just getting started with Facebook Lives and you resist doing videos. Create a secret Facebook group that you're the only member of. Now, you have to have 2 people to create a Facebook group, so get your husband or your spouse or your mouse, right? Get somebody to join with you, and then you can kick them out once it's joined. But then you make it invisible and you make it private. Nobody in the world but you knows it exists. It's like this little parallel universe going on Facebook that only you know exists. And you can go into this group and you can practice and you can play and you can check on the sound and check on the lighting and do all that until you feel comfortable, right? So there you go. That's one of the tips that I wanted to offer you. I wish I had done that when I first started. What did I know then? But the bottom line here is to be yourself. Nobody is looking for a polished presentation. What they want is to connect with another human being who's just being themselves, who's down to earth, who's authentic, who's real. This is how you connect. This is how you create relationship with your followers a lot more quickly than any other way. So, how often should you do them? I would recommend a video once a week. I'm doing them 3 times a month. I'm not even doing them every week at this point. But you can even grow into that one step at a time. But the most important thing here is to just get started. Just get started. And by the way, a little good news here, I recommend you actually mix things up. You're going to have a Facebook Live, and then you're going to have content posts, and then you're going to have images. And so you're going to mix all this up because that's also is very useful. It's something that I talk about in the Big List training, but bottom line is make it easy on yourself. Have a video, have a long post, have just an image and a quote, have an effective strategy, give value. Okay. Anything that's going to have your people resonate with what it is that you share as an offer, the value positions you as an authority, and it helps them to get to know you as well. All right. And then the bonus tip for you is always be looking. One of the things my first coach, again, God bless him, he taught me early on, always be looking at how can you leverage everything that you do at least 3 ways. Okay, so for example, let's say you do a Facebook Live. You could share that out to different pages or to the groups. You could share it to LinkedIn. You could add it to a YouTube channel if you have a YouTube channel. You could add it to your blog. You could take what you did on that Facebook Live and translate it, transcribe it, and it becomes a blog post or it becomes a social media post. Got it? And so think about how you can take the same thing you've done and just keep repurposing it at least 3 ways. All right. Okay, so quick recap. The first 3 stages of the lucrative list building formula focuses on building the list of loyal followers who becomes raving fans. Attract through a lead magnet that leads to engage, where you develop the relationship with your audience through your nurture campaign, and then expand is where you reach out to those in your divine market. And on social media, or in this case, what we talked about was social media. That's where you develop the relationship. You position yourself as the go-to person for what you have to offer through those videos and posts. Okay. That leads to stage 4. Stage 4 is invite. And this is where you convert your raving fans into happy paying clients, have them already leaning in to say yes to you by the time you've made your offer. But that can't happen if you don't have stages 1, 2, and 3 already firmly in place. Building a list of loyal followers who becomes raving fans has got to be your top priority. Without stage 1, 2, and 3, there is no stage 4. Okay. So I hope you guys are seeing the value in growing a list of loyal followers. I think that if you just start thinking about what I've given you today. How can you take, if you've already got some things out there, how do you tweak it? How do you reconsider your lead magnet? If you have a list already, how can you start build a nurture campaign of value to start sending out to them? And to start looking at what it is that you're going to be putting in place that maybe wasn't in place up until this time. Okay. So I'm not exactly sure why you were interested in this particular training today, whether you're with me live or on the replay. I know that there has been interest in list building, certainly through my email list was one of the things that they were asking for, which is one of the impetus for actually doing what I'm doing here, okay? And so if you're tired of trying to figure out every list building trick or tactic, throwing spaghetti against the wall, you can stop doing that. I hope that maybe you're learning that there is a method to the madness, and it can be easy. There might be maybe a little steps to get things going, but it really can be easy. And so if that's you, this is your time. And I hope that you have taken notes. I hope you're excited about this opportunity and what's possible for you, and that you get that growing a quality list of loyal followers is going to change your business. It can change your business like it did mine. But you got to know exactly what to do in order to create a solid list building system. Now, I have posted out there in the group, and what I'd like to help a select few of you here today with, I've already got calls set up with some of you. I did put the same offer that's here in the group out to my email list. So I've got calls with some of those people today as well, or this week. And I just want you to know that everything that I've said today, all of the strategies that I shared with you that has created a hefty multiple six-figure business is not theory. It is what I've done. It's proven. And it's what's working today. Now, did it happen overnight? Absolutely not. It took time. Did it take a lot of trial and error? Absolutely it did. But what I'm most excited about is it doesn't have to take you years, and it doesn't have to take all that painful trial and error that I went through. I would have given anything if somebody had been able to give me a thing and said, okay, here, let's just skip all of the confusion. Let me show you exactly what you need to do, and let me show you the order you need to do it in. Hey, I'm no genius. I am not extra special. I just want you to know that. I do have a system that works. And I do know that if I can do this, so can you. And so I just want to invite any of you who would like to know more about the big list. Here's what I've done. Enlightened Business Success Academy is my big program. It is my big signature program. It is a 12-month program. And what I've seen with some of the people that I have, and I always have conversations with people before they come into the program, was some people weren't ready. They weren't quite ready. Or some people were wanting to get into the program, but this was the foundation piece. This is one of the first things I put people in the Enlightened Business Success Academy is the Big List Launchpad. So what I did is I pulled it out of the entire 12-month program to offer, hitting my light, to offer it to a few of you who would like to go through the program, through the Big List Launchpad, and with my help to set up your own list building strategy, okay? This is the same system. Janique, who's one of my clients, attracted 12 clients in a 2-week period once we set up her list. Another client, Carrie, attracted 15 new clients in 3 weeks. It's how I filled my group program with 20 clients every time I would send an email out back when I first started. So these are the kinds of things that I could help some of you with. So if any of you feel like you're ready, or you just want to have the quick chat to see if it's a fit, because if it's not, that's okay too. But it'll be a quick chat, and I'll go into all the detail about everything that you'll get in the Big List Launchpad, and then you can make the decision if there's something that would be useful for you right now or not. So if you are interested to know more, I know some of you have at different posts have been expressing your interest, just put Big List. Put Big List in the comments, and then I'll reach out to you on a Facebook message, and we'll just set up a quick chat. All right. This is the first time I've done this. Like, I pulled it out of the Enlightened Business Success Academy and has it be a standalone for some of you guys who want to just do quick and easy and not as expensive as investing in the entire Enlightened Business Success Academy. That's another reason I wanted to do it. Make it easy for those of you who just want to get started. However, this particular offer goes away on Friday. All right. It goes away on Friday. So if you're at all curious about it, just reach out. We'll have a quick conversation, and then you can make your decision. All right. Whether you do that or not, I hope you got a lot of value out of the session today. And I just want to remind all of you that no matter what, no matter where you are in your business, every moment is an opportunity to begin and to begin again. And remember to hold the vision to what you want, no matter what. And when you do, success is your only option. So big, big heart hugs. Lots of love.